If you're wanting to become a full-time adventure photographer, there may be a few things holding you back. In this video, we're going to talk about how to turn your passion for adventure photography into a sustainable full-time career. Let's dive in.
The truth is, there's nothing like old friends, 'cause you can't make old friends.
Hey, I'm Rue. I'm an adventure filmmaker and photographer based out of Boulder, Colorado, and I've worked with brands like Patagonia, La Sportiva, The North Face, amongst many others. But how did I turn my passion for adventure photography into a full-time business? Well, let's break it down into 3 steps. The first, networking. We talk about networking a lot in this industry because a lot of industries, it's about who you know, and the adventure photography industry is no different. If it seems daunting to go and meet new people, you're not alone. I began knowing nobody in this industry. I was studying political science in college and was on a totally different path, learning about foreign affairs and heading into international relations. All the while, I was working on photography and filmmaking and trying to meet people and go to events, but I got really overwhelmed by the concept of networking. But it's not as scary as it might think. Going to these events and meeting people can actually be a really fun and exciting process. If you exchange the phrase networking with creating community around what you love, suddenly the process becomes a lot less daunting and can actually be a lot more rewarding as well. In the outdoor industry, we love working with friends. I love hiring my friends as assistants. I love working for my friends, and you can create those friendships by going to events. And it's not like swapping business cards and shaking hands and doing deals. It's about finding somebody that also likes to climb or also likes to go snowboarding in their free time. You can connect over these shared passions and move forward with other people in the industry that love doing the same things you do. And remember that everybody that you meet, whether it be somebody you went snowboarding with, somebody you're climbing with, or just somebody you met at a networking event, these can be doorways to new opportunities. My biggest work contracts and my most successful projects have all come from word of mouth. It's all been me being referred to somebody else, or other people connecting me to a brand manager or somebody that can help hire me to create these projects. And if you're starting with 0 connections in the industry, it's okay. Put yourself out there and do your best. The next tip I have for becoming a full-time adventure photographer is focusing on your clients. If you're just starting out, obviously focus on getting clients and getting these sorts of experience, but ultimately you are a service. You are providing a good to somebody else. Your photography should help solve a problem for a client. And this is where a lot of photographers, I think, might miss the mark. It's easy to get caught up in the creativity and the excitement of creating these images, but ultimately these images serve a purpose. They might help sell a coat, a bike, a ski, a lifestyle, or a mission, or a value of a company. As time goes on, it becomes less about taking the best photo that you can take and more about creating the best photo that your client wants. The moment you can switch your mindset away from taking the best photo and capturing the most memorable, adventurous moment for yourself, and rather creating a service and creating a product, a photo that is valuable to someone else, you'll start seeing bigger and bigger paychecks. And ultimately, that's what this video is about, right? You wanna make money from adventure photography. And if you're not focusing on serving your clients and creating a value add for them, you might be missing out on some paychecks, and it might be a bit of a struggle to make this a full-time thing. My third and final point is familiarize yourself on how to build a business. Let's not forget that adventure photography, despite how cool it may seem on the surface, is a business. It's about providing a service in exchange for compensation. And there's so much that can go into the behind the scenes of that, such as building pitch decks, figuring out how to communicate your ideas to clients, going through contract negotiations, figuring out how to license photos. All of these aspects of adventure photography are super important. And building a business where you can create a service to somebody else is about bringing yourself past the adventure photography industry and think of what are successful businesses doing all around the world. Because adventure photography, although on the surface may seem different, at its core is doing the same thing. Treat your photography not just as an art, but as a professional service, and you'll open up more doors and more opportunities that way. And although it may seem daunting, approaching adventure photography and approaching your passion with a business mindset, I can guarantee it will help grow even more. Because suddenly you have resources and you have people around you to help create a craft that you love and bring it to the next level. I know it may seem stressful and maybe a little bit depressing to approach your passion with this sort of business mindset, but I promise that if you do, not only will you gain a full-time career potential in this industry, but you will also elevate your skills as a photographer. Suddenly you'll have resources, you'll have a team around you, you'll have time and an ability to go out and create photos that are beautiful and that can create value for a company, but also you can showcase in your portfolio to get bigger and better clients in the future. But just to wrap up these thoughts, I do want to say that it's actually okay if you don't want to become a full-time adventure photographer. I know that's what this video is about, but I don't want that to ruin the love of adventure photography for anybody. I personally love the business side. I love building pitch decks and communicating with clients and figuring out how my photos and my skills can best serve them. But I know that not everybody's that way. Some people just want to go out and take amazing photos and do it without the stress of a client looking over their shoulder. And that's totally okay. Some of the best photographers out there are ones that are working other jobs on the side. Just because there's this pressure in modern society to turn what you're passionate about and monetize it, you don't have to do that with photography. If you don't want to be a full-time business owner and you want to create a career in the adventure photography niche, you might have to think about various other ways to do that. Because at the end of it, you do need to send invoices and create contracts and go through a little bit of this business side in order to be successful. But if you do want to be a full-time adventure photographer and make a career out of this, I encourage you to approach this career path with creativity and an understanding of how to get a paycheck. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, hit that like button. If you want to see more about adventure photography, don't forget to subscribe. We'll have weekly videos coming here on this channel covering everything you might need to know about adventure photography and adventure filmmaking. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm proud of you. Have the best day ever.